Hey, what's up, guys? Books Nelson here, back with another video. So we have a big drop coming tomorrow. There are some important things beyond what you see right here on the screen that we want to get into. So let's get right into the content. So dropping are going to be Kyle Korver, Jaime Jaquez, and Joe Smith, which you can pick up from the market. This Kyle Korver is obviously going to shoot out of his mind, and I think for a lot of people will be one of the better cards in the game just because of how he will elevate your shooting to be able to hit every shot with him very easily. I expect Joe Smith and Jaime to be at least pretty good. I have high hopes for Jaime because I I want this card to be good because he would really round this set out a whole lot. And they've been doing a pretty good job of making all of the cards at least usable. I thought last week it was 3 good cards. Actually, again, I think that Bradley Beal's actually very good. So yeah, looking forward to what these guys can do. Now, with the 100 overalls, the good news is I don't think there are any bad cards here. The bad news is I don't think there are any amazing cards here either, right? Because all of these guys don't are missing a great release. Now, if they change the releases, obviously we'll cover that tomorrow morning. But as it is right now, AK's release is mid. Ben Simmons' release is maybe mid. Evan Mobley's release is flat out bad. And now we haven't had an updated Evan Mobley. He desperately needs a new shot base. And Adam Morrison's upper brings his level down. I shot around with his dark matter. I have his dark matter on one of my teams. I think it's on my main team. And there's no way he sees the court over the 10 best 2 guards that I have in my lineup. And that includes, for me, the 100 overall Vince. I just do not like that upper. It just drags him down a little bit and doesn't allow you to play. It's not that he's terrible, but at this point in the year, the jump shot is what separates a lot of these cards because they all have the same stats. They have mostly good animations. So the jumper and the player build is what separates them. So all of these cards need an update, and they've been pretty stingy with some of these updates. So I don't expect these guys to be great. Now, will they do their jobs? Yes. Adam Morrison is going to be still good offensively in a lot of ways. Evan Mobley is going to be great defensively. He's going to be able to hit the shot, probably play both positions pretty well. Ben Simmons will be serviceable as a defensive slashing point guard that can guard anybody at that position at the very highest level. And AK is going to be able to guard anybody at his position. So they all do a job, and they're going to do that job well. But in terms of being the best cards in the game, I think this collection is falling short in all of those regards. And I would say, if anything, hope you get the best card out of these. We don't know which one's the best card, but we know Kyle Korver is going to bring it because he's been, basically on that, all NBA team for my team this year. He's been there. I still use his Ruby card offline. These cards I'm not going to say they stink, but similar to the 100 overalls, Harden is usable, but he has Harden animations. So his is almost the opposite. His shot is fine. It's not amazing, but it's fine. But those James Harden animations just don't cut it anymore. There are way too many cards with elite animations in the game to be messing around with the James Harden animations. Magic Johnson just doesn't have the jumper. Dwight Howard, I actually like Dwight Howard cards this year. Like their athleticism definitely like leaps off the court. You know what I mean? So again, we're at the time of the year. None of these cards stink, but none of these cards are great. Like, I think if you have the best team in the game, I'd be a little surprised if any of these cards make the best team in the game, with the exception of if they bless Jaime, he might make the best team in the game. If you prefer Korver, I could see having Korver on the court no matter what. But I think that's been true for every Kyle Korver card that's come out this year. Every single one has been like, oh yeah, you can run that card because he just shoots so well. When you're that good at something, you can justify your time on the court. And then Ben Simmons, if if you're not happy with your PG, maybe you can throw in Ben Simmons, who will do his job. But really, this is all about, and I haven't even said his name yet, Mr. Yao Ming. Everybody gets a Yao Ming. Now we know that this GOAT Yao Ming is going to be the best card in the game, right? If he's not the best card in the game, I think we'll all be a little bit surprised. He's going to be absolutely crazy. But there's no such thing as a bad Yao Ming card, pretty much, right? Once Yao Ming gets over an 80 speed, he's fantastic. No, almost pretty much no matter what, right? And I fully believe that he will have an 80 speed because the dark matter here is probably going to be comparable to the worst version of a high level Yao in the game. And the worst Yao in the game is still one of the best centers in the game. So I expect Yao Ming, even the free Yao Ming, to continue the trend. Actually, I think the entire season, this season, the free cards have all been at least usable. Even the Luka, and I know a lot of people don't like the Luka's jump shot. and his animations aren't as good, but he has enough good animations that if you really know the entire dribbling system, you can play around what he doesn't have, because Luka has a great signature crossover and a great signature snatchback. And those are the two dribbles, like actually compared to James Harden. That's why James Harden stinks, right? Like, and stinks is an exaggeration. He's all 99 overalls. But James Harden, his signature snatchback is not the best. His signature behind the back is not the best. And his signature crossover is not the best. So it's like some of his snatchback is okay, but it's not as smooth as Luka's, right? And with Luka's crossover, it's like, okay, you know what? With the crossover and the snatchback and then the universal dribbles, like the in and out tech that we found on this channel, link in the description below. I'm like, you know what? I could play with that Luka. I can play around that. I don't need every perfect dribble in the game to be good. I just need the key dribbles to be good. And James Harden's not going to have that. So you know, this continues the trend though, because Dirk's usable. Giannis is more than usable. Giannis is flat out good. Luka is usable. I would even say leaning towards good when I look at what he brings to the table. Size, he's going to make the shots. Yes, the shot's a little funky, but he has enough good animations to roll. I think Yao Ming is going to continue in that trend and be really good. I think this free Yao Ming is going to be very exciting for a lot of people who have not landed on that perfect center yet. Now, not to say that he will be perfect, but I think he'll be good enough to play on your squad and hold your own against those perfect centers, which is important. All right, now there are other important things to talk about for tomorrow. Number one, we're actually going to scroll down here, Clyde Drexler. So you may notice that if we go to this, almost no one plays point guard. And those that do play point guard, that's not the position they're best at. And then you have Ben Simmons, who's going to, you know, most people aren't going to get Ben Simmons. So Magic plays point guard, but nobody's trying to shoot with Magic unless his shot is different tomorrow. And he's going to be very, very hard to get. James Harden, going to be very, very hard to get. And when you do get him and you see that glow, you hope it's probably hoping somebody else, right? Whereas and then here, Ben Simmons is the only one. And Yao Ming, listen, as great and cheesy as going to be to put Yao Ming at point guard, I think his best positions are the center and the power forward, right? Because he just doesn't move well enough to play point guard. I think even defensively, those big cards move a little weird and can be a little difficult. There are some exceptions. But I think even with like stealing the ball, some of the smaller point guards are like better at it. They just feel better at it. Like playing with Lonzo and Kareem, if I'm on ball, I'd still rather have Lonzo because I know I can get plucked at will with Lonzo. Whereas Kareem, it seems like, I don't know, like those big long arms aren't doing their job. I think the same is probably going to be true with Yao Ming. He'll be cheesy, but ultimately you'd much rather have a true point guard. And Clyde is going to fit that description very, very well because as an invincible card, that what he lacked for me as a point guard before was his pass ratings weren't that high. And so now his pass ratings are going to be juiced. And I think Clyde is going to fit in with the upper echelon of point guards. Perhaps not truly elite, but I do think he will be high tier, right? And there's a difference between elite and high tier. Elite's best of the best. High tier means you can hang with the best of the best, right? You can keep that gap closed with skill and with approaching the card to his strengths. I think Clyde's going to do that. And you compare that with this 100 overall goal. So basically 10 wins in a row. I believe it's all offline modes except for challenges. And obviously you can't cheese this with your friends. Going online to try to do this is probably going to be pretty sweaty. So for those of you who don't want to engage that, you can either do that in clutch time or you can do that in triple threat and combine that with Clyde Drexler. So you're going to get 100 overall after 10 wins, and then you add another 40 wins to that and you get Clyde. So yeah, big W for the content for all 15 of you who are not currently playing college football, right? So listen, I'm right here with you. I haven't started my college football journey yet. Just haven't really been motivated to do that. Like I said, using this time to kind of cool down before the 2K25 news starts to really drop. And I will want to take at least a 2-week break from 2K to kind of refresh before the next 2K comes out because we're going to hit 2K25 really, really hard. I've got a lot of IRL work to do as well, so I'm kind of happy to take that time. So I'm really doing stuff like restarting Cyberpunk and, you know, getting back into Destiny. Overwatch just dropped a new character. I'm using this time to like be a gamer as opposed to a like 2K gamer, even though I am still playing, you know, some here and there. I actually still enjoy the game, but in terms of my team, haven't been playing quite as much, but I will be diving in. I will be at least getting the free Yao. I'll probably be spending the rest of my currency. I don't know if I don't know if this is a good collection to spend your currency on packs, because essentially you're just trying to get one Yao Ming card, because I don't really care about the rest of these cards at all. They don't make my main team. My no money spent could use any of these cards. Even on my no money spent, I wouldn't touch the Invincibles, right? But I would like to grab one of those Yao Mings, although I would say, honestly, I don't think this is the collection to blow your currency on as far as how it looks right now. Now, if we show up tomorrow and there's a lot of jump shots being different, then that's a different story. But this goes into the same problem. 2K can drop a collection that has really good stuff, but because the rarity is so incredibly high, it makes it not worth it to engage the content, right? Because if you spend 200,000 MT, you know the chances of you getting anything you want is actually really, really small. If you spend 100,000 VC, like say you're like me and you play a lot of my career. Now, again, I haven't been playing as much. Normally by now I'd have doubled or tripled my VC. But let's say I have 100,000, 200,000 VC that I've actually earned in the game. Spending that on this collection, if I only got the Dark Matters in this set, I would not be happy with where my resources went. I would want it to be on a weekend where, you know, I have a high chance of getting one or two cards that fill my that help my team. And I don't think that's going to happen this week. I think ultimately, if you don't get one of the Yao Mings, you probably don't feel super great this week unless your team really needs one of these positions that's not filled yet. So for me, I'll definitely put a little time into getting Yao, into getting Clyde, into getting that 100 overall, which could be a big W, right? There's a lot of good 100 overall cards, a lot of duds, but also a lot of good ones. So that's what I'll be doing. And good luck to you guys who are going to be ripping packs and that sort of thing. But I will say, and this is not a complaint video, but I would love to see, as we get to the very end of the cycle, we are literally almost a month away, because it's coming out early September this year, right? I think September 6th or 9th or something, that 2K25 is coming out. So the closer we get to August, I think for my team, it's time to finally raise these odds so that the people who are playing can actually feel rewarded. And since all of the cards are good, it's not even about a competitive advantage anymore. I don't even know if I'd say a competitive advantage truly exists in the game. If you just look at all of the cards that you can get, even for free, and you mix in a teeny tiny bit of luck, right? Just a tiny bit of luck, just like I'm talking about literally just one good pull in like the last 3 weeks, your team is going to be 90% as good as like an all money spent squad at this point, right? So it's not even about a competitive advantage. I think it's really just about the fun of using all of the cards that you would really like, right? To be able to play with Yao and sit him down and bring back Kareem and sit him down and play with Wemby. I think that's the time of the year that people are at, where they just want to do stuff and have fun. They want to play with Ben Simmons because they want to play with Ben Simmons, not because he's the best point guard in the game. And so having this stuff be extremely rare with an increasingly smaller community, especially with the juggernaut that is college football, which again, I will be playing and will probably enjoy. And if I enjoy it out of my mind, I'll cover it. But if it's just like a fun game for me, it's not going to see much time on the channel unless I'm associating the point of it with 2K. But point being, with that juggernaut of a sports game out there, I think the people who are playing this mode right now need to be rewarded a little bit. And we need to see these 6% dark matter and -2% everything else odds. It's time for it to go, man. Like, I know they want to squeeze every single dollar out of everybody who's playing, but I don't know. I think at this point, I would love to see before season what are we in 8? Before season 9, I would love to see the gloves come off and 2K just start throwing cards at everybody and showing us what the fun of the mode is really like when you have the ability to make the team you want. But that's just my personal hope. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, thanks for rocking with me. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.